All right, let's just dive right in. We are going to break down a system that is designed to solve a problem that, let's be honest, we all have. It's that huge, frustrating gap between knowing exactly what we should be doing and then actually doing it. This system is called the alpha install, and it's all about turning that knowledge into real, tangible action.
You know the feeling, right? It's this endless cycle. You read the books, you watch all the videos, you listen to the podcasts, you get so much great information, but then you look at your life a month later and not much has really changed. So what's the deal? Why doesn't all that information lead to more action? Let's get into it.
So there's a name for this exact problem. It's called the knowing-doing gap. It's that space between your best intentions and what you actually execute on. And bridging that gap, well, that is the entire point of the system we're going to walk through today.
Okay, let's unpack this definition, because every word here matters. An alpha install is not just another piece of advice. Notice the key phrase, behavioral intervention. This is a very specific, targeted action. And its goal is to install what's called owned alpha, which is just a cool way of saying a behavior that isn't just something you learned, but something that becomes a real, automatic part of who you are and how you operate.
This comparison chart really makes it crystal clear. You see, traditional learning, its main goal is just understanding. You get the concept, you nod your head, and that's kind of it. And alpha install, it's all about movement. The final product isn't some new idea floating around in your head, it's a new behavior that's actually happening in your life.
And this right here, this is the feeling we're aiming for. It's not about feeling overwhelmed or trying to change your entire life overnight. No, it's about that simple, quiet, powerful feeling of progress. It's that confidence that comes from knowing you just took one small, real step forward.
So how does this whole thing actually work? On a practical, day-to-day level. Let's dig into the core philosophy here, because it's built on a few principles that are, frankly, very different from most of the self-help advice you've probably heard.
Okay, this is so important. The system is built to avoid the traps we all fall into. Look at this list. It's not about learning more theory, and it's definitely not about trying to white-knuckle it with motivation or discipline, because we all know how unreliable that can be. Instead, it's all built on these small actions that are designed to be completed, repeated, and this is the most important part, to be felt. It's about creating a shift on the inside, not just forcing one from the outside.
Now, I know this might be sounding a little abstract, but I promise you, the system itself is incredibly structured. In fact, every single install, no matter what it is built from the exact same 4 simple components. Let's break them down.
So here they are, the power input, the exercise, the STC tag, and the alpha signal. You can almost think of this as the recipe. It's a repeatable process that takes you all the way from, why does this even matter to me, to, okay, how did that actually feel?
First up, we have the power input. This is your why. Before you do a single thing, the system gives you this really tight, focused piece of framing. It could be a story, an insight, something that makes a light bulb go off, and you think, oh, okay, yeah, this applies to me, right now. It's all about creating that immediate sense of purpose.
Next, you've got the exercise. This is the how. And it's always a single, simple action that you can complete today, usually in just a few minutes. The whole goal here is momentum. It's designed to leave you with that amazing feeling of, wow, okay, that was way easier than I expected.
The third piece is the STAC tag, and this provides the structure. See, every single install gets put into one of these 4 buckets: structure, time, action, or clarity. And this is actually brilliant because it keeps you from getting overwhelmed. Instead of just having a random list of habits you're trying to build, you start to see the bigger picture of how each new behavior fits into how you operate.
And finally, the alpha signal. This part is absolutely crucial. It is not a grade. It is not a measure of success or failure. It's just a simple, quick feedback loop to check in with yourself after the exercise. The only question you're asking is, how did that feel? Or, where am I at after doing that?
So if the signal's red, it just means you felt misaligned, or maybe you avoided the exercise, or you felt a lot of resistance. But listen, this is not failure. It's a diagnostic tool. It's super valuable data that's telling you, hey, there's some friction here, and it's probably worth looking at.
A yellow signal? That just means the attempt was maybe partial or a little inconsistent. This is where awareness lives. It's that honest moment where you see the gap between what you intended to do and what you actually did. But, and this is key, without all the harsh judgment that usually comes along for the ride.
And then there's green. A green signal means you did it, it felt aligned with who you want to be, and you feel like you could do it again. This is the goal state. This is what we're shooting for with any given install. This quote just nails it. True ownership of a behavior, where it becomes second nature, truly automatic, that only happens once you get to green. Red and yellow, they're for learning. They're for diagnosing what's getting in the way. But green? Green is where that new behavior finally locks in. So that's one install. But the real magic, the real power of this, happens when you start layering these installs together over time. That's when you create what's called a rhythm of ownership. And the system operates on these three really simple timelines. On a daily basis, your only job is awareness. Just notice things. Weekly, you aim to complete one full install, just one, and get a green signal. And then monthly, you zoom out, you look at your signals, and you start to recognize the patterns. This creates a sustainable pace for real change, not burnout.
And you know what? This is worth saying again, because it really is the heart of the whole philosophy. The signals, red, yellow, green, they are diagnostic, not judgmental. They are measuring your internal alignment, not your external success. And that small shift changes everything. It's about leading yourself better, not shaming yourself for not doing enough.
So in the end, this whole thing is about way more than just another productivity system. It's really about cultivating a specific feeling, a specific state of being.
And honestly, this slide just says it all. This whole system is designed to feel like momentum, not like homework. It's supposed to feel like relief, not like you're being coached or told what to do. The goal is that feeling of control and quiet confidence, not the feeling of just trying to comply with some other program.
And that is the ultimate takeaway. This isn't about a new app or a checklist. What this system is really selling is a clear process for achieving genuine, sustainable behavioral ownership. So that really just leaves us with one final question to think about. When you look at your own life, what's that one small behavior that, if you truly installed it, if you truly owned it starting today, would make all the difference tomorrow?